What's up guys, this is Spencer from Starkill and 8-Bit Kit, and today we're going to be talking about the Alesis Strike Pro. This is the kit I've been using for the past couple months and in all my videos, and I wanted to give you guys a rundown of how it works. So on the surface, it's a 6-piece kit. You've got 2 up, 2 down, snare, kick, dual zone crashes, 3-zone ride, and all the pads are dual zone as well, so you can have separate samples on the rim that you do on the head. And the biggest thing here is the size of the pads and the crashes. Most E-kits have like 8-inch pads, and I don't know what they expect you to do with that, like you're going to play it in a closet or something, but this thing is super realistic. I can really dig into these pads and not feel like I'm going to break them or anything. I've been playing this for months, and I don't feel like I need to change the heads or anything at all. The hardware's all pretty nice, the stair stand's pretty good, and the rack's all right, pretty portable. But my biggest quirk with it is going to be the plastic clamps. If I was going to take this kit on the road, those would definitely get swapped out with some kind of metal alternative. The other thing to note here is the kick plate is pretty short. I'm using the Pearl Demon drives, and it's just barely grabbing it. It never disconnects itself, and I don't need to worry about that, but it does kind of wobble. If you're a rock drummer, you're not going to have any problems, but if you're a metal drummer and you're doing double bass, you can see that it wobbles a little bit there, so I do have to keep an eye on it from time to time. The drums and cymbals are super responsive. They've got triggers all over them, and what's pretty cool is on the side of every drum, there's a little dial, and you can just quickly adjust the sensitivity there. So instead of having to dig around in your settings in the module, you can just quickly turn something if it's not feeling right, and it'll be good to go. So overall, the drums feel really good to play, but more importantly, let's talk about the module, because that's where most of your money is going to end up going. So a couple of cool quick features here are it's got an aux in and a headphone out, so I can just plug in my phone on whatever YouTube or Spotify track I'm listening to, and then have my headphones on, have a separate volume mix for both of those, and just jam over whatever I want. It's super convenient for recording too. I can run the click track from Pro Tools here, and then run the MIDI back to Pro Tools in a seamless process. And then another cool thing is it's got individual outs for all the pads. If you're going to play this in a live setting, most E-kits just have a stereo right and left, so if you wanted to adjust the kick sound in the room, you'd be screwed. The only way for you to do it is to go into the internals of the module and configure all the settings there. But here you can give the front of house engineer just one input per pad, and he can have total manipulation over it. So if the kick isn't sounding right, he can adjust it. All the stock samples are pretty good, and they're going to have a lot of dynamic range within them, so when you're hitting the drums soft, it's not just going to be the same sample with a lower volume, it'll actually be a responsive, separate sample. The biggest thing here is the ability to import your own samples with an SD card. The onboard samples are pretty good, but I wanted to be able to take whatever sounds I was getting on the album to the stage or to my videos directly. The Strike Editor software is super cool. It lets you build fully customizable kits. You can either import your own custom samples or use the ones that are already there, but you can have certain samples trigger at certain velocities on certain pads. So tons of flexibility there. The main kits that I play on this, I actually just rendered down some Steven Slate samples, threw them on my SD card, and then built a preset kit. I'd been tossing around the idea of getting an E-kit for a while, and the brands that were coming to mind were obviously Alesis, Roland, Yamaha, and Pearl. Roland has always made some pretty high quality stuff, but the biggest factor there was the price point. I basically would have spent way more money on that than I did on my car. For the Pearl Mimic though, the module alone rivals the cost of this entire setup. They argue that they've got the Steven Slate samples on board, which is super cool, but with an SD card slot and the Strike Editor software, I could just render down those samples and upload them directly to this module. Overall, the kit is super playable, there's a lot you can do with the module, and it's at a way more affordable price point. If you guys have any questions, don't forget to leave them in the comments below, and let me know if you want me to review any other specific pieces of gear. Thanks for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more cool drum videos.